Yo quiero esas que... Punto cero. ¿Cómo se tarda en cargar? Ah, porque se me trabó. Se me trabó un... Se va a morir por la tormenta. ¿Cómo se come el pescadito si todavía tiene vida? Por atrás. Bad boys. Ahora grande mirado. Mejor le voy a dar en el nuevo modo. Estoy con... Estamos a lo mejor con nuestra skin. Pescadito. Tiene pinco minty. Minty. Internet está un poco malo. Voy a caer en señorío. Señorío. Está remando. ¡Una llama! No sé si caer. Vamos, uno muerto. A pico. En serio, lo que yo no quería me lo dan. Ahora sí vamos por la llama. ¡Ah! ¡Que había dos! Le hice daño. Había dos llamas.
Some breaking news this morning. Late last night, some of the Epstein documents were unsealed by a judge. Now, these documents in particular stem from a deposition given by Virginia Giuffre, who is a high-profile accuser of Jeffrey Epstein and of Ghislaine Maxwell. Many of you might remember her from her accusations against Prince Andrew, and she's a highly credible person, witness, and we've seen some of her interviews on camera. She sued Ghislaine Maxwell back in 2015. These documents stem from that, and they show definitively that Ghislaine Maxwell has lied under oath in the court. Her lawyers have blatantly lied. Right. So let's lead off with that very first accusation, or not even accusation, that proof, which is that from that deposition, from that case, this is an email between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, January 21st, 2015. Now, her lawyers have already said in her bail memo that 20 days ago, just 20 days ago, she had not communicated with Mr. Epstein in over a decade. So right off the bat, Crystal, blatant lie in the court of law. That's what we already know about.
Absolutely, and the details here are pretty chilling too. You have Epstein coaching her. Let's throw that back up. That's what that email is.
Right.
Coaching her on how to say, that these are all lies and untrue, completely untrue, that she's been smeared, innuendo, slander, defamation, salacious lies, all that stuff. And then he goes on to say, you've done nothing wrong, hold your head up high, go to parties, get over it is basically what he says. So again, the real bombshell here, the fact that the two were very clearly in communication.
Yes.
And that is
inspiring and can defeat these charges.
Absolutely, and that goes directly against what Maxwell's lawyers have been representing here. But wait, there's so much more.
There's some other stuff, and a lot of this was known, but we didn't have the full documents. We knew that Virginia Giuffre had made this accusation. This one is about Bill Clinton, and again, this is a total bombshell, so let's throw that up there on the screen. And look, according to this interview, Bill Clinton was at Epstein's Island with Epstein, Maxwell, and, quote, 2 young girls. Now, there's no allegation here of sexual impropriety. President Clinton has denied on numerous occasions that he was ever on this Little St. Jeffrey's, I think is what it was called, that island in the Virgin Islands that was owned by Jeffrey Epstein. However, remember that from that Netflix documentary, with many of its flaws, and as I know I've heard from so many of you, they still had that interview with the IT technician for Jeffrey Epstein, who said somewhere between, I think it was the 90s and 2005, so assumption is after Clinton left office, that he was seen just hanging out with Epstein on the veranda on Epstein's favorite part of the island. Again, not an accusation of sexual impropriety, of nothing, just that he was there.
And that conflicts, and what's critical here is that conflicts with what he has said.
Yeah,
he has denied.
Says he's never been on this island, and there is a part of this deposition also that talks to Maxwell about her interactions with President Clinton, the numerous times that he flew on Jeffrey Epstein's plane. Remember that there was also, those pictures that we brought you of Ghislaine and Kevin Spacey sitting on the throne, the British throne. That was actually part of the tour organized by Prince Andrew for Bill Clinton, Ghislaine Maxwell, Kevin Spacey, and Chris Tucker, I think, the guy from Rush Hour. So, motley crew of people.
Yeah.
Really, but, I mean, just goes to show, again, how deep Ghislaine Maxwell was able to embed herself.
Sports. The thing you weren't quite good enough at for your dad to love you. I absolutely love sports. In fact, the only times I've cried as a grown man have been while watching actors playing coaches deliver inspirational speeches set to stirring music.
This game is not over. This battle is not over.
Listen up. This is our time now. Second half is our time. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the f***ing difference between winning and losing.
Clear eyes, full hearts.
Yeah, let's go play some football. Let's go.
Yes! Yes! I'll do anything that man says. We are all lucky that Kyle Chandler is not a Scientologist, or I would be broke and married to Mimi Rogers right now. That's a fact. That's a true fact. But look, tonight, we're not going to talk about the players on the field. We're going to talk about the fields themselves, stadiums. America has a lot of them, and they are increasingly fantastic.
At the home of the Dallas Cowboys, here's what you also get. Real art by world-renowned artists. The Party Suite is all about watching the game or concert in style.
You can do bottle service, you can set up, come in before the game. You get the snake skin, the gold H, so everybody knows where you're sitting.
There are 14 party cabanas and 2 pools watched by lifeguards that look down on the field. Just look toward the end zone. Yep, those swimming pools are inside the stadium.
That's right. You can now watch a game from a swimming pool suspended above the field, where the real contest for the fans is finding out whether or not HPV can swim. Hey, my money's on HPV. That's a clutch STD. That's clutch. Most new stadiums nowadays look like they were designed by a coked-up Willy Wonka. And if you don't believe me, just look at what the Miami Marlins have in their new ballpark.
That's a fish tank around the whole park. That is awesome.
Yes,
Así caer
the
aquí,
Marlins
por
have
caer
actual
aquí.
aquariums behind home plate,
Te voy a
which is
caer aquí.
indeed awesome because you get to watch baseball while at the same time watching fish develop panic disorders. And look, all those new features are clearly incredible. The problem is they're also expensive, and the vast majority of stadiums are built using public money.
Sebastián.
One analysis found that between 2000 and 2010, we spent $12 billion building new facilities
No
for professional
cayó
teams.
nadie
Which begs
aquí,
the
¿o qué?
question, why?
¡No!
Sports teams are successful businesses with wealthy owners, and yet they still get
Ah!
2 years ago, Detroit got approval to spend more than $280 million in taxpayer money on a new arena project for the
Pero
Red
¿por
Wings,
qué
just
tan
6
malo
days
mi
after the city
internet?
filed for bankruptcy, even though the Red Wings owner is Mike Ilitch, the founder of the Little Caesars pizza chain, who's worth an estimated $5.1 billion. That's a little hard to swallow. I mean, sure, not as hard to swallow as a Little Caesars crazy bread with an assortment of Caesar dips, but still pretty hard. And we don't just help teams build stadiums. We let them keep virtually all the revenue those stadiums then produce. Just listen to the president of the Miami Marlins describe their not at all unusual deal.
You get the income from naming rights.
Yes.
You get the income from concessions.
Yes.
You get the luxury box income.
Yes.
You get the income from non-baseball events.
That's the whole object of this, is to get more revenue.
Wow, that's pretty direct. Hey, you think I've got into this because I like sports? What are you, a child? Who let a child host a television show? This is all about the money, son, the money. He mentioned naming rights in there, and it is true. For most teams, if you sell the name of your building, you get to keep the money, even when it's a stupid.
Yes.
You get the income from concessions.
Yes.
You get the luxury box income.
Yes.
You get the income from non-baseball events.
That's the whole object of this, is to get more revenue.
Wow, that's pretty direct. Hey, you think I've got into this because I like sports? What are you, a child? Who let a child host a television show? This is all about the money, son, the money. He mentioned naming rights in there, and it is true. For most teams, if you sell the name of your building, you get to keep the money, even when it's as stupid as this.
The New Orleans Pelicans are going to be playing their home games at the Smoothie King Center.
Yeah, the Smoothie King Center. And you have to feel a bit for the Pelicans players. It can't be easy to protect your home court when it's named after a slop of yogurt and kale ejaculated from a blender. But owners monetizing every part of a stadium is so ingrained, it's even now a feature in the Madden NFL video game.
We're adding the ability to run your team as an NFL owner. Being an owner isn't just about talking, though. It's about taking action. Set prices on concessions, merchandise, and tickets. Upgrade your stadium. Improve everything from the parking lot to the lot.
Hoy creo que voy a hacer más videos, pero más tarde, después de este video voy a hacer otro mucho. ¿Dónde vamos a caer? En pasta placentero o... Mi equipo va en el nivel 123, pero le voy a ganar por un nivel.
¿Mande? No.
Dun, 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 dun. Pero ¿por qué no corre mi gatillo? No, mi gateiro. Mi gato, pues. ¿Qué me va a ver? ¿Dónde está? Ah, que ya tienen. Me hubieran dejado la Thompson. Gracias. No sé por qué. Está re malo mi internet. Pues por lo menos sobreviví. Ay, no, mejor no, mejor no. Mejor no, fuck. ¿Pero por qué me saca? No quiero el pico. Que hay peña, hay peña, hay peña. No. Sí. Sí, es mi internet. Buena. Parte maté. No me están dejando ninguna aquí. Ponte por favor las cosas.
No cielo. Entonces este era él. Pero la mayoría pidió. Petra, los de chorizo, ¿qué quizás? No, yo no quiero. Y porque carnitas salen más caro también.
What?
Sin cebolla, por. Vamos a ver.
¿Querés un poco de limonada con soda?
En un ratito, cuando almorzamos.
Va, porque solo hice un vaso.
Tómatelo.
Y yo dije le echamos la mitad de aquel.
Va, está bueno, démosle.
Así, ¿qué mandas? ¿Qué te dio?
Ahora gran, pero ¿por qué no lo puedo revivir? Ahí está, ya lo voy. ¿Por qué?
It's incredible. The owner experience is apparently so realistic that if you unlock a secret level, you can even deal with the aftermath of making a racist comment. That's incredible attention to detail for gamers. Teams are so successful at pushing for upgraded stadiums that since the early 90s, we've had a replacement rate of over 90%. We replace stadiums even faster than we replace Spider-Man.
Vamos, la primera que con
Tobey Maguire and
internet
Andrew
malo.
Garfield were perfectly good, state-of-the-art Spider-Men. Almost every single team gets some kind of public money. Some, like the Yankees, might build the stadium themselves, but on lands that they're given rent and property tax-free, costing New York City hundreds of millions in lost revenues. But many others get their stadiums funded through tax-exempt municipal bonds, which, yes, sound like the last words an accountant says before his blind date falls asleep at the dinner table. But they're actually incredibly important, so let me quickly try to explain. Municipal bonds are a way for the city to take out a loan, which they then later repay with interest, although usually through new or existing taxes. They're supposed to be things like roads or schools, public goods that private industry would not pay for, but they've been routinely misused to finance stadiums for decades, and often cities do it because teams claim they can't afford to build stadiums themselves. The Marlins got nearly $500 million toward their fish-traumatizing theme park by pleading poverty, although when Miami-Dade County tried to verify that, something strange.
Among the questions they asked was, can we see your books? You said no.
Right.
Why didn't you just open the books? Why isn't that easier?
Because in Major League Baseball history, books are just kept private. That's just how it is.
Sure, but if the argument in Major League Baseball history, that's just how it is, always won, we'd still have an all-white league of players gambling on games, smoking cigarettes at the plate, and dying of syphilis. But then leaked documents later revealed that despite denying they made a profit, the Marlins had generated nearly $50 million over the previous 2 years. And listen, pretending you're poor is wrong. It wasn't okay when Mary Kate Olsen went through her hobo phase, and it's not okay now. And we haven't even mentioned the ultimate bargaining chip that teams like to use, threatening to leave. Right now, the Oakland Raiders, the St. Louis Rams, and the San Diego Chargers are all threatening to move to Los Angeles unless they get new stadiums. In fact, over the past 2 decades, nearly half the NFL has been subject to speculation about a move to LA. It's such a cliche that in the current Madden video game, if you want a new stadium, a good way to do that is to relocate the team. And the game even tells you the easiest choice financially is, guess where? Los Angeles. And if you're a Chargers fan, that must be pretty infuriating. Oh, come on. Even my make-believe escapist entertainment is trying to move my f***ing team to LA. In fact, Chargers fans are currently so terrified their team might leave. Not only are they campaigning to spend thousands in the stadium, they're doing it in one of the worst rap songs of all time.
Die-hard fans almost went on a rampage. I tell the lies, I hope you understand why. Got the best fan of the best fan, but other teams are hating on them. Niggas in a brand new stadium.
Vamos.
The finest city. San Diego, the second largest city. Save our board, save our committee. San Diego making money, so put it back in our city.
Wait, go back. Did he say second largest city? That is a strange boast for a rap song. Yo, I got the second hottest car because I'm the second most paid. When I go to the club, I get the second most laid. Second most. I'm up there. I'm number 2, yo. Number 2. And teams are shameless in manipulating cities' fears. In 1997, the Minnesota Twins even ran an ad showing a player visiting a child in hospital with cancer. And the tagline, if the Twins leave Minnesota, an 8-year-old from Wilmar undergoing chemotherapy will never get a visit from Marty Cordova. Which is less like the Make-A-Wish Foundation and more like the Make-A-Threat Foundation. But teams don't just use threats to get what they want. They also promise that new stadiums can work economic magic. The Milwaukee Bucks, who are also currently threatening to leave if they don't get a new arena, are running this ad now.
The ripple effect starts here. This
Vamos,
from the coast to cosmos, transforming a community with new development, jobs, growth, and opportunity. The ripple effect of a new era begins today. It spreads across the river.
¿Con cuántas que? 5 por lo menos.
Across the great state of Wisconsin.
Settle down, Milwaukee Bucks. For a start, I don't think Wisconsin will be transformed by one new arena. And also, if you really are looking to make a tangible change, how about coming up with a better slogan than Fear the Deer? Deers aren't scary, they're timid forest ponies with sticks on their heads. I fear no deer. The truth is, stadiums very rarely revitalise their surrounding areas or create large numbers of permanent jobs. Just listen to one bar owner near that New Marlins.
Quiero esta skin.
He says since the stadium opened in 2012, not